So here we are towards the end of the day on day one in the Boundary Waters. We put in at Fall Lake this morning, entry point number 24. We've paddled about 10 miles today to get here. That includes a little bit of a wrong turn at the beginning, went the wrong way in Fall Lake and went around the island, but that's okay. It was scenic, the weather was nice, it was no big deal. We are on the north end of Pipestone Bay. I believe this is called campsite number 30. We were very lucky to get this campsite. I was reading online that it's usually full. As you can see, we've got some gorgeous trees here. It's just after 7. We had dinner early because we really didn't eat much lunch. I ate about 5 or so. We've had a fire, we've made s'mores. Got the tent set up. You can see behind me the boat's out of the water. Actually expecting rain tonight, sometime in the middle of the night through about 10 a.m. the next morning. The mosquitoes are really starting to bite, so I'm going to make this short. Just got the bear bag hung. It's a real pain. There is apparently not a bear cable at this campground. I could not find one. Been all around in the woods, so finally found a branch that was suitable, but it's a little higher than I could throw a rock. Took about 8 to 10 tries. Finally got it up there. So bear bag is hung. Bear canisters sitting back there as well. Didn't have enough room in the bear canister for all the food. Brought a few extra goodies this time. So that's done. Camp's all cleaned up, ready for the night. The crew's in the tent, reading and relaxing. I'm just finishing up. I'm going to go in there myself as well. So, beautiful campsite. Took a little bit to get here, but it is well worth it because we have a gorgeous view, just a gorgeous view.
Cute Froggy. Aren't you so adorable?
Day 2 of our Boundary Waters trip. It's about 11:30 in the afternoon. It's been cloudy all morning. The sun's just kind of starting to peek out. It's still a little bit windy. The weather says 10 to 15 mile an hour winds today, which is not too bad, but it's making the lake a little bit choppy. Just kind of waiting to see what the weather's going to do. We're staying here again tonight. We already knew that. We're on, I believe it's called campsite number 30 on the northern part of Pipestone Bay on Basswood Lake. Got here yesterday about 1:30. Lucky to get this site. It's usually booked up, at least from what I read online. We tried to shoot some video last night, but my batteries were already dead. I guess charging the GoPro up 5-6 days in advance, they didn't hold their charge. So got everything recharged this morning and recharging the battery pack with the solar panel now. Hopefully we'll have enough juice to get us through the trip, get some good video. I got up about 8 o'clock this morning. We had a windy night last night, a little bit of rain. There was only one time it really rained moderately heavy. The rest of the time it was mostly just sprinkles. Kind of a nice night to sleep. Colin, what you got there? What kind of feather do you think it is? An eagle feather? Here we are on one of the trails that leads back into the woods from the campsite. Most of them don't go anywhere, just I think used for collecting firewood. This one actually leads to our bathroom. The lovely pit toilet. Not much to look at, but it's actually a pretty nice amenity to have out here. A lot better than digging a cat hole. really struggled finding a good branch too that was going to be strong enough to hold it. So I think you can see up ahead, I finally found one, quite a ways up there, probably 20 feet up or so. Got one of our dry bags hung as a bear bag, simply because we had more stuff on this trip than I normally would have. We also have the bear canister back here. Didn't bother hanging that. Obviously it'll be good on its own. Didn't have any evidence of anyone tampering with these last night, so not a big deal. Now that bear bag obviously wouldn't do much. If the bear really wanted it, he could cut that rope in no time, but hopefully there's nothing really too scented in there, given that it's sealed up and up high. Hopefully it's not a big deal. Just after dinner on night 2, still here on Pipestone Bay of Basswood Lake. I said before we were in campsite 30. I actually think we're probably in 31. The reason I figured that out was actually the pit toilet has a number 31 written on it. So at any rate, number 30, 31, whichever it is, it's the one directly across from the portage into Back Bay. I think looking out at this view, you can actually kind of see the portage. There's a little bit of a bare spot on the shore straight across between these two islands. So that's where we'll be heading in the morning. We're going to do the 2 portages across Back Bay tomorrow. First one's 70 rods, second one is 90 rods, both of which are 1/4 mile or shorter. And that'll put us out into a larger part of Basswood Lake, and we're going to go ahead and find our second campsite.
Well, this is the day that we didn't go anywhere, and last night we were here too, so this is the campsite from last night, but we stayed here all day today. But we went out and go fishing, but I was freezing. But the wind was pretty bad too, so it was kind of dangerous.
Then what did we do? Come back to camp?
Yeah, I was kind of freezing, but I stayed out in the sun a little, and then we had fun, and then I got kind of cold again, but I got my shirt on, and I was fine. And
what do we have for dinner?
Macaroni and cheese, and then we had some pudding that didn't taste that good, but it was still kind of good.
And we had some s'mores too, huh?
Yeah. So
and now we're just enjoying a campfire?
Yep. We got it going pretty good.
Here we are at our second campsite of the trip. It's night 3. It's actually not night yet. Got here about 1 o'clock, pretty early. Though not untypical for boundary waters. They say if you're not off the water by 2, it's going to be a lot harder to find a campsite. We came across from our previous campsite, did the portage into Back Bay, which was fine. It was a 70 rod, 1/4 mile portage. And then we did the portage out of Back Bay, and that was a mess. It was an overgrown trail, mosquito infested on both ends and along the way. And then we had to paddle through a swamp of lily pads to get out. So it wasn't a lot of fun. Then we did a lot of just crossing the big lake, kind of stayed along the coast and hopped from island to island. Checked out first campsite, was full. Couldn't find the next one. Then we checked out a couple more. One was mosquito infested but nice, and a couple more were occupied. Finally ended up over here at campsite 105, which is actually just a little alcove at the entrance to Wind Bay. So it sets us up nicely for our trip tomorrow. A lot of time to kill today. Just kind of started a fire. As you can see, it's a very smoky fire. That's actually kind of on purpose, trying to smoke out some of the mosquitoes here. They're not as bad as other places, but they are still pretty bad once you step into the trees. So imagine we'll be going in the tent early tonight. I'm going to be starting some spaghetti here pretty soon. That should be good, and then we'll hang the bear bag and probably call it a night early.